Joined by Clark Bonwell.
Howdy.
Clark, we are here at Thunderbowl right now. Many pro bowlers have bowled here. We are about to step foot where many pros have gone before. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel any different.
So yeah, first practice session of Junior Gold. As always, you do not get the patterns before the tournament, but rather afterwards, forcing you to make your own adjustments and find out during your 40-minute practice session what works and what doesn't. My first session was held at Thunderbowl Lanes, and as you can see, this is definitely a long pattern, but not your typical long as the outsides are what's in play here. I threw the DNA to around 5 or 6 at first, but later learned that any shot inside of 5 will typically not move. You have to keep your break point pretty close to the gutter and the ball will bounce. As the lanes broke down, I switched to an exotic gem, moved my feet a little left, kept my break point the same, and all worked well. At one point I tried to play the insides to see if there was any shape at all in there, and I really don't think there is. I later went to the summit peak as I shifted further left, and that ball seems to snap nicely into the pocket on the transition. I don't think this pattern will be a problem, but I'm hearing otherwise from quite a few people. My next practice session was held at Score Lanes, and let me tell you off the bat, this pattern is not fun. I'm guessing this is a medium pattern with seemingly tons of forward oil, causing transition to hit super fast. I felt a bit lost on this pattern, and it seemed to be the same for many others. Threw my balls in all different parts of the lane, but nothing seemed to really do that well for me. During warm-ups though, I will probably likely play up the right side, as that's what seemed to give people somewhat of a success. I predict this could be a very low-scoring block across the field. Joined here by Nathan Cisco, man who throws old balls and overseas balls and has like no new equipment except that summit peak. What do you think? What do you think? Thoughts on the score pattern?
So on the sport pattern, definitely you need to keep your bowling break point out on the right side past 10. Anything to the left of it, you're going to overhook and miss right pocket entirely.
Yeah, definitely.
I found success using urethane up the right, probably breaking on 10, and then using an insight that's been shined. I have a break point at about 8. It gives me enough push down to where I can get it out far enough for it to hook into the pocket. So definitely the goal here is to play on the right side.
After the trade show, we went back to work and played at Super Bowl, and I'm gonna say I really like this pattern. It was another long pattern, but it played like a real one, if you know what I mean. You play the insides, so for me, I'm gonna have to start a little left at 20 and keep my break point close to 10. As long as I have a pearl in my hands, it should go well, as this is the pattern I feel most excited for. Alright, so I'm here with Noah Moreno. We just bowled the Super Bowl oil pattern. Noah, what are your thoughts on how this pattern played? I would say it was a generic long pattern. Um, Kept my break point mainly inside, like 10-ish. It played really similar to the tack it 44-foot pattern. What pattern? The tack it. Oh, the tack it. So what are we thinking for ball choices? Ball choices, I'm thinking definitely pearls. I think I'm gonna start with the Revenant and then switch to the Summit Peak as the Revenant burns up. Finally hit the last pattern of the practice sessions at Century Bowl with what seems to be the short. I was able to start by playing the outsides of the DNA as the gutter is definitely in play. However, I'll definitely keep my break point closer to probably 3 or 4, and as transition hits, I'll probably move left, and so will my break point, as by the end of practice, I had definitely moved over a couple boards. The Revenant had a surprisingly good look on the transition, sealing the deal as my final ball for my 5-ball sheet. Joined here by Nicholas Sachs. We have just finished our last practice session at Century Bowl on the short. Nick, what are your thoughts on this pattern that we have here?
Extremely confident. That pattern was definitely the most open out of all of them. A lot of free hook. Purple hammer, all 4 games. I'm thinking plus 250.
Yeah, so if you need like a big block right at the end, you think this will be the game?
100%.
All right.
It's my jump from 80th to first right here.
There it is, the ball registration form. Hello there, Nick. I've decided on the DNA, Exotic Gems, Summit Peak, Revenant, and the Spare Ball as my 5-ball bag. I'm going to keep the DNA at 500 grit and the Summit Peak at 3000 grit, and whatever shine is on the Exotic Gem and the Revenant. Maybe if I'm feeling a little wacky, I'll hit the Spare Ball with 180, who knows. But, yeah, that is my competition bag, and I hope it does well for me. But, that's about all I got, so, yeah. Bye!